Hi guys, Kirk here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Today what I'm going to show you folks is how we repair, I'm going to show you one way of how we repair this crack here. Now again, this house, it's kind of old. I'd say 70 years old. So it doesn't have a weep screed. That's one of the reasons why it's cracked like this. Another one is because they butted this solid concrete against the stucco. And then they butted this beautiful stamped concrete against that also. And the stucco's butted to the foundation, so it's got no wiggle room. Like glass, it doesn't, or wood'll move around. Glass will break if you wiggle it too much. Stucco's the same thing, so we got a big crack here. Now if I just put stucco in there, say I take this new stucco and I put it in there, this is always going to vibrate. When it rains, it saturates the ground, expands, contracts. This will always vibrate. We're on a corner here, very busy street, so traffic going by is going to make this unstable. It's always going to be unstable, but what we're trying to do is a temporary fix. It's not really worth it to tear the whole thing off around the whole house. I wouldn't do it if it were my house. It's not very practical to put a weep screed in. And even if you have a weep screed, it can still hairline crack. I'll show you what I'm going to do. This is a rough finish. Generally, I like sanded texture. But because this crack is so deep and so large, I'm going to go with something else. This polyurethane is, I'm kind of partial to it because it really works well. And what I'm doing is I cut the tip off deep, so a lot of caulking is coming out of here. And what I want to do is just spread that caulking inside that. I don't want it all over the edges because then it's a drag to paint it sometimes. So what I'm doing here is I'm squirting as much of this stuff as I can in here. And what we've already done is I put a little bit of a bonding agent around the actual stucco because I'm going to hit this with sand. So I got a little bit of weldcrete and this black stuff. All that is a wire brush. So we take this and we fill this side here too. Now fill that guy up all the way till it kind of pops out. You want it to go all the way into the back. You don't really so much, again, want it all over the edges on the outside because it becomes kind of an eyesore when you paint it. So what I'm doing is I'm filling this up. This particular caulking, unlike this, it's water cleanup. This is great caulking here, it's water cleanup, but this crack is a little too big for it. So what I'll do now is I'll take some mud. And I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of mud over it, just for texture. Little bit of mud. You say, why do you use caulking? Why not straight mud? Again, straight mud will crack. I'm only using this just for the surface, so to get the texture correct. Because that particular texture I just used doesn't have any sand in it. So if I just left it, it won't match this because this is very gritty. So now I take a wet float and I just hit this. This float is wet, so it's making the aggregate or the sand come out. Now these folks know, I told them, well, they said, how long can we paint? And I said, 2 weeks. You know, stucco actually you got to let set for 28 days, but this is just the surface. It's just a tiny surface coat, and what I'm trying to get is just the texture with this. So between the two products, generally I don't mix products, but on this I've done it. I've done it before many times with great results. There you have it. Yeah, it works better than just say the textured caulking alone, because the textured caulking alone cannot go that thick. It would suck in. And by the way guys, if you're going to do caulking, do it early morning. Right now it's about 8 o'clock. Sun's out, it's nice. But if I were to wait till 5 o'clock in the afternoon while the sun is on this, the wall expands, contracts, so it'll be smaller, meaning I'll caulk it and the next day it'll be right back. So always do your caulk repairs early morning if you can, or winter time, or when the walls are cool. Anyhow guys, hope that explains something as far as why we get these cracks. It's not that big of a deal. It's just stress of the house and a lot of things that contribute to it. My name is Kirk. I am with Kirk Giordano Plastering. We thank you for watching, and as usual, we'll see you guys on the next one.